This video is meant to help you understand the footprint of your asynchronous online course. It's meant to help you check the rigor of your course against the expected requirements of all online classes. It's meant to help you communicate to students the time commitment that is required in order to do well in your class. As a result of this video, you should review your course, reflect on assignments, and make adjustments as needed. The expectation for contact hours or instructional time is 2,250 minutes or 37.5 hours. Now, contact in the traditional way is interacting with the professor, that's you, and the other students in the classroom. It's easily fulfilled in an in-person scheduled class, and typically the same amount or more time is allotted for coursework outside of class, otherwise known as homework. What about an online class? What really constitutes contact hours or instructional time, and what hours are devoted to coursework outside of instructional hours, that is, homework? It's a little bit hard to tell, but if contact is interacting with other people, then contact hours are your videos or the discussion boards or shared projects, your grading comments, office hours, things like that, places where students will have contact with other people and with you. Coursework outside of the class are readings or other people's videos, things of that nature, things that are not necessarily contact with the class or contact with you, but are simply contact with intellectual content. In my course, this is how I talk about it. I ask and answer the question, how much time will it take to do this course? How will I keep track of how I'm doing in the course? And this is for students to think about this. And I explain that the time estimates are as follows: 30 minutes for lecture videos, 30 minutes to read the video transcripts for these lectures so that they can review the lectures. I think that it will take about 30 minutes per written paragraph, and that means about an hour for each discussion board post because they're writing something and they're responding to something. The same thing is true for Padlet Timeline posts that they need to do in my class. They need to post to a timeline and they need to react to that timeline. And all of those I would consider as contact hours because they're interacting with me or they're interacting with somebody else in the class. For things that might be coursework or homework, maybe 15 minutes for some of the shorter supplementary videos that I have in the course, or maybe 5 minutes per page of reading, and those are readings that I've assigned that they would be doing by themselves. A book that I didn't write, a book that's a course book, that would be traditionally considered homework. And it's a kind of generous estimate for the amount of time that they would take to do reading, but I expect them to take notes and think about what they've learned. I also try to make sure that students don't think that they're locked into those times. I know that they are different and everybody learns at different rates, and I want to make sure they understand that I'm not leaning in to say you must do it this way or this amount of time. I do want them to know that there are some weeks that are longer than other weeks and have more intense time requirements. I want them to be able to plan. I also want them to be able to recognize that learning isn't just over a certain or set amount of time. Sometimes you learn something in a flash of a moment. And sometimes it takes you quite a long time to learn something. So I want to recognize that learning isn't only about estimating time, but I also want them to understand that I recognize they have complicated lives and that they need to plan. I show them a course calendar, and for every week I give them an estimate of the time I think it will take. I also show them how many points I think they will be earning that week, or I know they will be earning that week. This allows them to plan ahead, so perhaps week 1 is shorter, but week 4 is longer, and I tell them in advance, you might want to spend a little time in week 3 getting ready for week 4, or set aside extra time. This is a way to respect students who are working and who are managing many priorities. I let them know which weeks are going to be a little bit heavier, so they can see that in advance and plan. What can you do to increase contact hours? You could write weekly announcements to the class about how they are doing with assignments. Give some evaluative comments. Are they doing well? Is there anything that they all need to do a little differently or how they could improve? I often ask my students in a discussion board a question that they are supposed to ask me in the response. And then I collect those questions and I make a weekly video to answer what they ask. I feel that that's a way to make the discussion boards less static and more active. So every week or every other week, I'm answering what they ask of me in a video on a Sunday night. You can ask students to schedule themselves for maybe 2 half-hour office visits during the semester, and you can entertain more than one student during that time. You can ask them, you don't have to require it, but you can ask them to come and speak with you. You could also do a mid or an end survey that you design, and then you respond to what they've said to you about how the class is going. These are other ways that you can increase contact hours in a relatively simple way. So again, 2,250 minutes, 37.5 hours. Ideally, your assigned contact hours or instructional time in total should be at or over 37.5 hours. Also, the coursework outside of your contact hours should be in addition to the 37.5 hours. In other words, homework should be more. So what should you do as a result of this video? Please go ahead and count how much time your assigned work will take. Differentiate, as you can, between contact hours, instructional time, and homework or coursework. Please ensure that there are 37.5 hours of contact time. If you want to talk it through, think through what the assignments are or how they work, we're happy to help you. Please reach out. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful semester.